Unbelievable.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
So the government shutdown entering day 22, marking the second longest shutdown in U.S. history.
Senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram joins us now from the Capitol with the latest. Chad, any break? Is there any thawing between the two sides?
None. The ice age, glacial pace, a stalemate. This is a staring contest of the highest order. Neither side is willing to budge to reopen the government. Democrats insist the only way to unlock the shutdown is to have bipartisan talks about health care with the president.
Donald Trump, instead of leaving the country or before he leaves the country, should sit down and negotiate with us so we can address this horrible crisis. He should not be going away before he negotiates. The American people are in crisis.
Democrats are sticking to their demand for money to defray the cost of Obamacare. Schumer and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries say the president was interested in the issue when they met in September. But President Trump is unwilling to talk right now.
I would love to meet. I would like to meet with both of them, but I set one little caveat. I will only meet if they let the country open. They have to let the country open. The people want to go back to work, so I'll do it as soon as they open up the country. I'd like to meet.
So they are tied in a Gordian knot. Senate Health Committee Chairman Bill Cassidy says they might not be able to unwind this tangle even if they wanted to.
The staff to write the legislation, they are furloughed because of the shutdown. We can't write the legislation to do what they want to do as long as the shutdown is going on because everyone is furloughed. That's the craziness of it. So he's created a situation that we cannot get out of.
Now, Democratic Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley has been speaking on the floor since 6:23 last night. He's protesting the administration's policies. Merkley spoke for more than 15 hours in 2017 in opposition to Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch. Guys?
So there was Politico's reporting that there was a call. They reached out, Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, to the White House to meet directly, as you mentioned. But do you know who they got at the White House when they reached out? Did they get the switchboard? Did they get Susie Wiles, chief of staff?
I don't know definitively, but usually what happens is this goes through legislative affairs. There's a legislative affairs staff that deals with Capitol Hill. The idea that they have not met at all. There was this conversation in September between the big four leaders. You had Jeffries and Schumer, Mike Johnson, the Speaker, and John Thune. And they haven't had really any contact since then. I mean, everybody says on Capitol Hill, even those who are for the shutdown, say, they're hardening their position, saying it has to be the president to unlock this.
Yeah, so is there any movement when it comes to the moderates? We heard about there was moderates meeting. So now that the No Kings rally is over, are they willing to vote for the bill?
Well, when you talk to some people up here, they're not even clear that there are negotiations between the moderates. I think that there's a push by some people. They want to reopen the government. But as I say, it's about the math. Some people have told me they might not be able to even find the combination of that lock to unlock this. These are very informal conversations that are going on right now. Some members on both sides are starting to get a little bit skittish just because they're hearing from people in their districts and states who are not getting paid. Services are being cut. There's a lot of concern if this gets to November about the holiday, travel season, people going for Thanksgiving, people going for Christmas. That could be the issue. But as long as people don't see any real direct impact, and again, most people in the country are not right now. Most people are not. So there's no impetus on Capitol Hill to address this.
Yeah. And Chad, there was also other reporting out of Politico that said that Republicans aren't negotiating on Obamacare just yet, but they are getting ready. And they're trying to figure out some sort of combination of maybe curbing subsidies without getting rid of them altogether. Is that your understanding on where Republicans are right now, that there could be a little bit of a thawing when it comes to the idea of talking about health care?
Oh, certainly. I mean, there's some people who have policies who don't realize that they even have them. And so they're like, wait a minute, what are we doing? There's certainly some fraud involved here and there. So if they can maybe, sunset this at some stage, that would help. I think that even people in the reddest states, and they realize how many constituents that they have who are on the exchanges through Obamacare, they're like, we have to address this. And Mike Johnson has said we were going to address this anyway. And these people are getting those notices right now. And this is maybe where the Democrats, this was their strategy, to have the government shut down, have Republicans not negotiate on that, and then people get the notices that their premiums are going to go up and come back and say, wait a minute, this is all the Republicans' fault because they're not willing to negotiate. But that said, there are some of those very narrow talks going on right now.
All right, Chad, you sound as frustrated as everybody else.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
It's almost like doing the same story every day.
I know. Yeah. I know.
And it's weird because without the House in session, I've been through these government shutdowns before, you always had the House and Senate passing appropriations bills, at least to give the imprimatur that they were doing work. That's not the case right now.
Because the House, the Republican side of the House is home.
And now you have John Thune saying that they may need to come back because the continuing resolution that the Senate is voting on is going to run out of time. I mean, it ends on November 21st.
Mike Johnson said this was getting dicey. That was the word he used because, again, if you approve that in late September, the idea that you had 7 weeks until November 21st, well, guess what? We're down to 4 weeks right now.
Can you believe it? We'll have you on week 5, week 6, as long as this goes.
I'll be here.
Hopefully not week 7.
Thanks, Chad.
I will be here if they are out of session.
I hope this has been therapeutic for you. Right. Because I really feel like
we have a couch you could lay down on, too, if you need it.
Thanks, Chad.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.